Good morning, everyone. It is December 16th. Going to talk about the war in Ukraine, specifically give a battlefield update in the Pokrovsk region, as that is where the majority of the fighting is taking place, basically along a line that runs from here all the way up to Bakhmut, encompassing Chasiv Yar, as well as some other smaller villages and a major logistics hub. Some might be asking about what's going on in Kursk. I'm not going to really cover that. The lines have stabilized. Earlier this month, Ukraine made a big push to try to retake some territory they had lost in the Kursk region. The Russians fought back and once again stabilized the lines, although it does continue to be a sticking point in Putin's administration because he continues to make dates for when Ukraine needs to be ejected, and the Ukrainians keep blowing through those dates, and it continues to embarrass Putin. That's essentially where we're at in Kursk. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on Pokrovsk, because Pokrovsk is a major logistics hub that is servicing a front line that runs from Bahatir all the way to Chasiv Yar. So we have Pokrovsk here, Bahatir here, Chasiv Yar here. Now there is an arc of logistics that Pokrovsk is the keystone for here. Now the situation for Chasiv Yar isn't as precarious because Kramatorsk also provides logistics to Chasiv Yar. However, the ability to share weapons across the battlefield via this highway system, it was key. And the highway system, you might not be able to see it because I've colored over it, but basically you have Chasiv Yar, Pokrovsk, Bahatir. And these highways were facilitating the ability of Ukraine to move logistics, troops, etc. across to rapidly deploy where needed. Now, as you can see when we zoom in on what's going on in Pokrovsk, you can see that the Russians have taken part of the highway. That has effectively cut off Pokrovsk's ability to get down to Bahatir, which is that way. Now, how Russia did this is, as I said before, there were major defenses, so Russia needed to flank. They created a sliver of a flanking maneuver and actually held the territory, taking Shevchenko, the town right here, and then started back building their defenses. The Ukrainians actually smartly redeployed forces and created a defensive wall here, stopping the Russians from being able to get to this highway, which potentially would have opened up the axis for Russia to take essentially this swath right here and be right up against Pokrovsk. The E50 is what is key here. This is a major highway. If Russia can get and flank around the backside to the E50, Pokrovsk likely will fall. The situation for the Ukrainians does not look good. Russia seems to be taking about 8.5 square miles of ground every single day, although they are losing huge amounts of soldiers. This is an area where Russia has actually seen new records for number of losses in a day, as Russia saw a couple days where they lost over 2,000, which is the most they've had since the war began. Now, as I've said, Pokrovsk is somewhat of a keystone here, and I just want to reiterate why that is. So, zooming out again, giving kind of a just quick wrap up here. Pokrovsk, logistics hub with major road and rail entities moving in and out of the city, servicing Bahatir, servicing out all the way to Chasiv Yar, obviously servicing the Toretsk region, but again, Kramatorsk does play a part in that. But it's good to have redundant logistics capability in the area. Pokrovsk falls, let's say it falls, more than likely we see the highway system at least to this line fall, and this gap right here to right up against Bahatir closes as well, with Russia potentially taking that territory and this territory, and it makes anything in here or even Toretsk itself difficult to defend.